I have modified the website a little bit. I've noticed that if you use the website on different computers, if you don't have the script, the font that the website is written in, it'll default to anything. It'll default to whatever you have. So I've noticed on some people's computers, there's got some wild stuff going on there. So I changed all of this into graphics. So it doesn't matter what font you have, it'll pull it up as a graphic, and then all of these will come up just as they're supposed to look. And so that will be a little more helpful. There we go. I don't know if I showed this to all of you. This was the outreach that I did 2 weeks ago over at the Sunshine House. And
yes, you showed us.
got this one? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we weren't here last week.
So if you want to take a look at that, that's all in there. And the pictures for the folks that I did the presentation to, and a little information about it. And I enjoyed that. And how many of you listen to Focus on the Family?
In car.
Car, yeah, I listen to the car a lot too. Did you get this one with David Faber? Maybe it's Faber. I don't know. F-A-B-E-R. I think it's Faber. He's a survivor of the Holocaust, one of the last ones, and he was telling his story to a group of junior high kids. And at first I wasn't going to listen to it because I've heard lots of Holocaust stories. But I tell you, this one really got me. It really got me. Being a young, obviously would have to have been a young child. It was just, I think, 13. And he went through it. Saw his whole family killed in front of him. His young sisters machine gunned right in front of him. Bodies falling on him. And then his survival at Auschwitz, and he had to, at one point, he had to clear the crematoriums, and he pulled the body of a young woman out that was suckling a baby. Well, it wasn't not crematorium, the gas chambers. And the baby was still suckling, and the baby didn't breathe while it was suckling, so it didn't take in the gases. The mother was dead, the baby was still alive. And he lifted the baby off the mother, and he said, "Please, can I give this baby to the other women? It's still alive." And the soldier said, "No, throw it in the crematorium." And he begged, "Please, please, please, let me just give the baby to the other women." And the soldier grabbed the baby and threw it into the crematorium. Stories like that, hideous stories like that, I don't know how a person can live through that. It's just heartbreaking. But they gave him 3 blocks of time on Focus on the Family to talk about it. And it's really worth listening to. So
how did he figure that he escaped it?
Just pure luck. And he doesn't say anything about God that way. And so it's kind of disappointing. But for him, it's a matter of luck, and for us not to forget how the Jews were treated. How it's very easy for people to slide into something like that when you get into economic hard times. They're unemployed, people don't have resources, and it's real easy to look at the guy next to you and say, "He looks different from me, and he's probably the one that's causing these problems." And from there, it goes to horrendous activities, which it's really sad. And but I can understand one thing that he did say, that he promised God that if he got out of this, he would go and tell his story everywhere. So there might be some kernel of faith in there.
Sure.
But it is worth listening to. You can pick it up. You can just go on their website and listen to the whole thing. Friends over at Biblical Archaeological Review. This is the magazine that I really enjoy this magazine. This is a good magazine. They have really good reviews on a lot of religious artifacts, Israel and the surrounding Mediterranean area. A lot of interesting commentary. This magazine, and I talked about it before, is in our library here. Might have to wrestle with Steve Gillis to get the copy out of there, but they do have them in there. It's not that expensive. You can subscribe to it. The thing the reason I'm bringing it up today is because remember I talked about R. Crumb's illustrated copy of Genesis. Remember that? And I recommended that you don't get a copy of it, because he focuses on the dark side of Scripture. In other words, when you illustrate the Bible, there are a lot of activities that occur inside the Bible that when you read them, it's one thing, but when you make a picture of it, it's another thing. In other words, when we talk about sexual relations, pretty graphic when you start making a picture of it. And I believe that Crumb focuses only on the dark elements there. In other words, he focuses on the incest and the rape versus just the marital relations. And according to Biblical Archaeological Review, they say, hey, it's in there, and that's his interpretation of it. It's okay. I suggest you read the article. I disagree with them. I think that Mr. Crumb did not give the book of Genesis if you're going to do something like that, you better make it a more rounded view and give God the glory in it, and just don't focus on the dark things that occur inside there.
Is that him?
No. This is Dr. Hawass. He is Egypt's lead archaeologist. Now the article is in the back. It's not given a whole lot of, well, there's not a whole lot to find it. You kind of dig for it, because I'm reading the whole thing and I encounter it. So you're going to have to go to the back of the magazine to find that article. Okay, today's food, since we're in Isaiah 47, we're at the piece of scripture regarding Babylon. So I decided to make something that reflects Babylon. Now this one is called Babylonian Apricot Jewels. It has a really simple recipe. You have to have a Chardonnay. I couldn't find one from the exact region that I wanted. I couldn't find one from that area of the world. So I said, well, what do you have? It's at least in the Mediterranean. He said, well, I've got Italian. So I said, hey, that won't work. So I took Italian Chardonnay. I got raisins. I got cream cheese. I got cashews. We've got some dried apricots. We've got lemon that we're going to zest from, and we're going to put some powdered sugar in it. And you have about 4 ounces of the cashews that are ground up and into almost a complete powder. And that's put into a bowl with some zest. Now, I took all the peel off of the lemon to make the zest. We got about, let's see, it was about 8 ounces of cream cheese. We've got about 2 ounces of raisins, and then we had about a quarter cup of the Chardonnay. All that's put into a bowl, and it's mixed together. You can put it into a processor if you wanted to, and really whip the dickens out of it. And when it's mixed together, it kind of looks like tuna salad. maybe chicken salad.
Or it looks like cookie dough from here.
Yeah, I like cookie dough.
Doesn't it?
And then once that's mixed together, now it's going to be real sticky because you put in about a half a cup of the sugar, mix it all together, and it's going to be this sticky consistency. And then you take a little bit of it and you pile it inside of a dried apricot, and put another one on top of it, and sprinkle the whole thing with powdered sugar. So they're going to be sticky.
Sticky's okay.
You gave us napkins, so, yeah, that should be all right.
Gosh, you guys aren't having any, huh?
Well,
Of course, it's not that, listen, we're
There's
not
always-
giving it to you.
There's always one that I photograph, so you can take my photograph.
All right.
You want me to-
Maybe it's just too
I imagine you could probably take that center there, that filling, and you could probably put a lot of things with that. You could probably put it on a cookie or anything. But this is traditionally what is considered a Babylonian treat.
Thank you.
Keep going. Probably healthy.
I have to get some more coffee in a little bit. Anybody else?
The only
Anybody
thing
want coffee?
that I have problems with is the dried fruit. It seems like when I eat dried fruit, it tries to find all that moisture out of my body, and all of a sudden my body's going, wait a minute, what are you doing here? But actually a pretty quick treat to put together if you have all the ingredients. So what do you think, okay?
Yeah. Good.
Very good.
Tastes like more. Big quarter of it down here. One good thing about a small class, you get more.
No problems about seconds, sure. Okay. We're talking about Isaiah 47. And how many verses in that? About
15?
15? Okay, a little more than a dozen.
But they're long. Some of them are long.
Okay. Why don't we read through them? Who'd like to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
Go down, sit in the dust, virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground without a throne, daughter of the Babylonians. No more will you be called tender or delicate. Take millstones and grind flour. Take off your veil. Lift up your skirts. Bare your knees and your leg, and wade through the streams. Your nakedness will be exposed and your shame uncovered. I will take vengeance. I will spare no one.
Our Redeemer, the Lord Almighty is his name, is the Holy One of Israel. Sit in silence, go into darkness, daughter of the Babylonians. No more will you be called Queen of Kingdoms. I was angry with my people and desecrated my inheritance. I gave them into your hand and you showed them no mercy. Even on the age